Alright, hey everybody, it's Carl Brown here again, and today we're going to take a look at how to play octaves on the guitar. For those of you who don't know what an octave is, let me just do a quick little theory review so you know what I'm talking about. If you already know what an octave is in music, just I don't know, bump the video up a little bit and so you can figure out, we can talk about how to play them. But real quickly, what an octave is if you take a major scale, or any kind of scale really, in music, and let's take an A major scale. That's that kind of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing that you've probably heard before. Well, that's a major scale. And if we number the tones there, we have A, which is the first tone in an A major scale, and you just go up. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we get to 8. Now 8 is another A, except now you would continue to scale up, which is called one octave higher. So if you see this on a piano, it's much easier to see how you can see that there's a bunch of, you can see where middle C is at on the piano, then you can see a bunch of other C's. And they're the exact same note, just in a different octave. So what an octave basically is the exact same note in a higher register on the guitar. So when you play this bottom note and this top note together, they kind of sound like one big note when they come together. But you can hear the low one and the high one. If you can hear that they have the same quality to them. They're just separated in how high or low in pitch they are. But it is the same exact note. So I could play those 7 notes of the scale. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then again 1 octave higher. All right. So, and then we have another octave, another A. Okay. So let's just say we understand the theory behind it. Now we just need to learn how to visualize those and use those on the guitar. Well, it's pretty simple. We've already looked at power chords before, but if you haven't done that, let's just look at it just as if you're just coming at it completely new. Let's start on the bottom string here. To find, this is an A. To find another A, all you have to do is go up 2 frets. So this is the 5th fret right here. And I'm going to be going up from the 6th to the 7th fret. Then you're going to want to not go to the next string over. You want to skip a string. There's going to be an empty string in between it. So I'm playing this with my first finger and my third finger. You can use your third finger or your pinky. I actually prefer to use a pinky most of the time when I'm playing octaves. But what I'm doing is I'm playing the 5th fret on the 6th string and then the 7th fret on the 4th string. And that gives, I have that string in the middle, the A. And that's the hard thing about playing octaves. Well, since there's a string in between the 2 notes that I only want to hear those 2 notes, you still have to hit all 3 of those strings because you can't go skip over. You want to hit it in one big hit. So you're still going to hit the 6th, 5th, and 4th string, but you're going to use the bottom of your first finger to rub against that 5th string and mute that note out. So it sounds like nothing. So I have the 6th string note. It's that tip of the finger is playing that 6th string note. But the way you angle it and lay it on the 6th string, you let it touch the middle part of it, the kind of the meaty part of your finger down here, rubs against the 5th string, not hard enough to hold it down because you don't want that to happen. You want the string to sound dead. And then you have your pinky or your third finger play the 7th fret on the 4th string. Now when you strum those 3 strings, you can only hear the 2 that I have. Now here's a tip. You're going to want to actually let your first finger hold pressure down on the very tip of your finger, and your whole first finger goes across all of the rest of the strings, because we also want to mute out these strings. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the really high-pitched strings. And those are being muted by the bottom, the inside of the first finger as well. The first finger is a huge muting finger on the guitar. So anyway, so now we want to aim for these 3 strings, but just in case we hit these other strings, you're not going to hear them. So we got this octave shape, and you can play this and just move this exact same shape, just like we did power chords. Play it wherever you want. Now, if you want, now we'll take it over, so we're going to move everything down 1 string. So now this first note is on the 5th string, and the other note is on the 3rd string. Now we have an additional problem. We can still hold it the same way, so we can mute that middle string. So we're muting the 4th string now, and then the top 2 strings, but we have to let our first finger come down and touch, the tip of the first finger touch the 6th string. So it mutes that one as well. So that first finger is muting the 6th string, it's playing the 5th string, and then it's muting every string underneath it. And it doesn't affect this one, since this 7 is above it, it's still going to sound. So we got to mute everything around it usually, if you don't want those strings ringing. Now if we keep going across and we want to play octaves here, now if we try to do this exact same shape, we'll move everything down another string. Well, it's not going to work. The guitar tuning is a little bit different in this area of the guitar. So if I play that same shape with the 5th fret on the 4th string and then the 7th fret on the 2nd string, it's a major 7th. It's not an octave. It's a different interval. What you need to do is move the pinky up 1 fret. Leave the first finger where it is. So there's 3 frets away from 5th to the 8th fret. And you're still doing the muting of the string in between. And then you've got with the shape, what you got to play like. If you're playing an octave across those 2 strings, that's how you have to play it. And that state stays the same as you go over to the last group of pair of strings that we can use for octaves. The 3rd string and the 1st string, they're still separated just like the 2 and 4 strings were separated with 3 frets apart. Okay? So a good way to get good at these and quickly get some nice little sounding musical phrases out of them is we're going to start it with the octave shape that was just a 2 frets apart on the 5th string. So we'll start it here at the 5th fret, 5th string, and then that pinky or the 3rd finger, whatever feels comfortable to you, at the 7th fret on the 3rd string. So we have the 5th string and the 3rd string. And then let's just sit there and do this. Take the low E string and don't mute it out this time with the tip of the first finger. And just play that, so you're strumming 4 strings. You're going to still have that 4th string in there is muted, but you're going to let the bottom string ring and create a little melody with this octave shape. So we're going. So it's a fun way of getting good at these octaves. But when you're shifting, you want to release the pressure of it so you don't lose the shape and you can move it up and down. You're not dragging your fingers across. So you can really keep everything uniform. You've heard this a lot in popular music, so you'll probably start, oh, that sounds like that song. That's what you're hearing. And then try the same thing with the shapes here, with a more spread out shape between the 2nd and 4th string, and let that low A string ring. And then do the same thing on the 1st and 3rd string. So just have fun with it, and it's a cool way of coming up with some cool musical sounding ideas that are used a lot in popular music, and you can get good at octaves while you're at it. All right? So please go to guitarlessons365.com and support the site and help me out in any way you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.